rather than simply correct the wrongs of the past. Whereas we have largely concentrated on how you correct the wrongs of the past and give people an even playing field, because you've denied and caused disadvantage to them in the past. Now, we are working on the same thing, and we are obviously moving in the same direction, basically towards a better society, but our motivation, at least the intellectual motivation, seems to be different. And I do believe that this close collaboration between the Jindal Global University and Yale University is going to help us bridge the gap between intellectual concepts and therefore provide a solid base and a sustainable base for globalization. The rest of the things are only the dressing material, which rules of the game you're going to coin, what you're going to negotiate, what you're going to agree upon, etc. But I believe that the fundamental base and the foundation will be this intellectual exchange that will take place here, and I think that you're very lucky. Those of you who are enrolled here as students are very lucky that you've been given this wonderful, wonderful platform to work on. I'm very, very pleased that the Law Minister is here giving his complete support to you. I'm often considered a cousin of the Law Minister because corporate governance is closely associated with law, and we work very closely together. Of course, we are greatly enriched by the advice that we get constantly from the Ministry of Law. And I would just say in passing briefly about our attempts to develop competition law in this country. We did have something akin to restriction on monopolies and unfair practices in this country in the past. But we found that the paradigm shift was necessary, and your experiences of antitrust law, as well as the antitrust law of Europe, I think was egging us on to a modern 21st century law on competition. We've established the Competition Commission recently, 2 years ago. It became functional. It's now moving forward and laying the ground rules for a new jurisprudence in this country. And as I said to the President, we will now obviously have much greater interface and interaction between economists and lawyers. In the past, the common lawyers looked down a little bit on economists. We didn't have anything akin to the American economic analysis of law in this country. It was basically subjective, instinctive reactions. Much of our tort law is not based on economics. Much of our contract law was not based on economics. But Dr. Moily is now churning up much of the areas of law that have to respond to changing face of economics in this country, as indeed in the world. And one of the areas in which we will make major advances will be competition law. And I hope that another year or two down the road, you have a gathering here. We'll be able to share with you some interesting advances that we have made. I find that although there are concepts, again, in common in company law and corporate law all over the country, all over the world, but in India, the structure of the Indian company itself is unique. We have far more family-run companies in this country, and we are proud of that. And one of the good examples and shining examples and icons of that structure of a company is our young friend, your Chancellor, Jindal Steels. Similarly, we have big names, Tatas and Birlas and Goenkas, family-owned companies, and now we even have family constitutions. There are family-owned companies and corporates that have actually devised family constitutions, entry and exit rules, support systems, so that the structure of a company is influenced indirectly or directly by family holdings, but are not disturbed or in any way damaged if something goes wrong in the family. And I think these are very, very interesting things that you would be able to study as your management and law courses converge. I look forward to some wonderful, wonderful approaches being taken at this university. I look forward to your deliberations and record of your deliberations, and hope to to inject new energy into government policy from the recommendations that you make. Thank you very much, and thank you for letting me come.